Hey, how's it going? This is part 2 of the dog tags tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and position the tags into the scene, add a floor and some lighting, a little bit of texturing. I'll bring the chain into the scene that I pre-made for the scene, and then I'll just show you how I went about making the chain. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and select the first dog tag. Let's open up its coordinates. On the x-axis position, I want 3. Rotation for x-axis, minus 113. On the rotation for the y-axis, 91. And rotation on z-axis, minus 113. Okay, let's select the second tag. And in its x-axis, we want 28. On the y-axis position, 10. And on z, we want minus 87. Okay, over on the x-axis rotation, we want minus 113. On the y rotation, we want minus 93. And on the z rotation, we want minus 222. Okay, and that is our dog tags all moved into their position. All right. All right, next thing we want to do is we want to bring a light in. So let's grab a light and we'll move this up. So let's select general for now, and we can keep our colors the same. The intensity, we can kick that down. Let's kick it down to 75. In type, we'll leave Omni Shadow. Let's add a shadow map, soft shadow map. And then, excuse me, in coordinates, on the y-axis position, put in 250. And on the z-axis position, we'll punch in 130. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and bring a floor in. So grab a floor. And for this setup, for the position that my tags are in, I think my floor is sitting at around -8. And I believe that's it. So let's go ahead and create the material for the floor. Create new material. Double click, open that up. And we'll just add, we'll stay on the color channel, turn off specular, and let's go into textures and down to effects, and let's grab Loomis. Let's go ahead and open up Loomis, and we'll leave the shader alone, specular 1, we'll leave alone specular 2. Let's go ahead and max that out, 255. Specular 3, I think we'll leave that the same for now. And then finally, anisotropy. Let's come down and check activate. And then you'll see we have some cool projections. Planar, auto planar, shrink wraps, and some radials. What we're going to use, we're just going to use a radial planar for now. All right, so let's go ahead and grab and drop that onto our floor. All right, we can do that. All right, let's go ahead and have a render and see how she looks. All right, looks pretty good. Could be lighter. You know, we could you can adjust things around a little bit in your lighting if you want. Bump your bump your brightness up. Just kind of play with things, you know, to get the look you want. But you can see we've got the cool lighting effect happening here. We've got the cool effect from the Loomis, from the anisotropy, from the Loomis tag. So yeah, looks good. So let's go ahead and bring the chain in and show you how that looks. So come in here, click merge, scroll down here, and here's our chain. And what I did was I just used actually I think I have a bump in here, we don't need that on that, but I just used the same material basically that I did for the dog tags for the chain. So that's pretty much how she looks. And let's go ahead and open a new Cinema 4D file, and I'll just show you quickly how I went about doing the chain. So let's just grab a spline. We'll grab a B spline, and let's go ahead and just get us a nice spline out there. Over in spline object properties, check close spline, and that will close the spline up. Now, when you're working with this in the scene with the floor and everything, it's probably a good idea to work in through multiple panes. If you're going to go along the floor, work in your right side view and so forth. That way, when you get it done, there'll be less tweaking to do in the scene. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is create an object, and we're going to grab a sphere. Down here in its properties, let's drop its size down to 7. And let's come in here to MoGraph and grab a cloner. All right, let's drag the sphere and drop it into the cloner. And click on the cloner, and let's come down into its properties. Right now we're in linear mode. We're going to change that to object. And as soon as we do, you'll see here that it gives us an option to drop an object in here, and we will be dropping our spline as the object. And as soon as we do, you can see our spheres jump to our spline. Okay, let's come down here a little further, and you'll see distribution. We want to change that to even. That evens our space out between our spheres. And then finally, over here in count, depending on the size, you can just punch a random number in and see how your spheres look. And you can also click and add more depending on how many you want, how close you want them to be and so forth. But anyway, that's pretty good for this. All right, so once you get your chain all made, there's a couple of options you can use. You can turn the cloner off and then select your spline, and you can work on your points this way. Or you can turn your cloner on and you can work on your points this way, and then you can kind of see how it's going to react with your sphere, so you can get that realistic look. So you're not having any weird angles to your chain, stuff like that. We'll turn this back off again. You'll find that there'll be some points where you're gonna get some weird turns or something, and you need to add some points. And so basically, if you need to do that, just come into Mesh, create tool, create point, and you can just come along and add the points where needed. You can switch back into there, and you can see. Grab your points that way. Let's say you want to go up through the hole, for instance, of the dog tag, up and through. Now, see, you can see a perspective. It's not exactly. This is where you definitely want to use different panes and stuff. So your right side pane would work good. Anyway, that's how I did the chain. We'll get back into our dog tags here. And that is it. The final tutorial I'm going to be doing for this will be in Adobe Elements 10. We'll be doing some little After Effects to the picture after we've saved it. So until then, bye.